let's say you want to fly a small airplane. The pilot comes smoked up. You want to fly with him? Because the guy's already flying without the airplane. Okay, you're not getting the point. You need a major surgery and the surgeon comes smoked up. You want the surgery? Oh no. Then you clearly understand this lowers your faculties. I want all of you to look at this. Do you believe you can enhance life by lowering your faculties? Hello?
Hello?
If you want to enhance this life, you must super enhance your faculties. That's the only way you can enhance this life. You cannot lower your faculties and think your life is getting enhanced. What kind of stupidity is that? Simply because it makes you a little like this. I can make you feel like this all the time. How's that? No substance, I'm always like this only. Look at my eyes, I'm stoned. Yeah.
Is he really actually stoned? So that's a good example of the N over S and N on crack.
Abusing analogies. Because now a lot of people in the audience are like, wait, shit.
Right.
I think he's joking.
So yeah, the NI at the top is going to be like, I'm going to overprove my point just on analogies alone.
Right.
And a little thing on that point there, and just kind of go down to double check that, like, I like to go back over like, okay, yes, we're seeing NI at the top, that's great. So I talked to a kid yesterday, really good kid, ESTP, lead SE, young guy, and he was telling me a secret, and I've heard this from so many lead SEs, most of them are ESFPs, but he was an ESTP. He's like, hey, look, so he's a really good growth mindset kid, you know?
Yeah.
And everything Sadhguru is saying is absolutely true, of course. Like if the context is like if you're dumbing your brain down to escape from your pains and stuff,
right?
It's going to make things worse, of course, right? But what the kid was telling me yesterday is like, hey, Dave, this is at the end of like a phone call of like he's going to go to work for Amazon and he's putting himself like a good kid, right? Yeah. He's like, hey, I smoke a little weed and it really helps me get in touch with my NI. And like, he's like kind of like—
We've heard that a lot, yeah.
That's what I told him. I'm like,
we've heard that a lot.
I'm like, sorry to like blast or interrupt you and like finish your story and not really give a shit. Like, I totally believe you. Like, you don't have to fucking prove it to me.
Right.
The first few times I was like, oh, it's just because you're a fucking EP stoner.
Yeah, you're making excuses, but like, no, we do hear that a lot.
Yeah, then like, and several of these EP kids I've stayed in touch with the past year or two, and yeah, they're still stoner idiots, but like, their life is doing this.
But because they're getting access to their NI.
That's what they said. That's what they all tell me.
Right.
They're like, I don't know what it is, but the marijuana helps me get in touch with my NI at the bottom.
Right.
And, yes, I'm kind of, knocked out for an hour or two, but like, he's like, the understandings and the connections and the bigger picture that I'm then allowed to go away in life and have access to are very,
So are you giving a blaster lesson on if you have demon NI?
That's just reporting the data that I'm seeing. I'm not your fucking mom. You can go do whatever the hell you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm just telling you. Like the context I told the kid.
There are shortcuts.
Right. The context I told the kid, I'm like, look, it's not
do this or don't do this.
I don't know, man.
And Sadhguru is not even saying that either.
Right.
I mean, this is what's so hard about the NI and blaster lessons is that you're like, well, you told me to. No. Nobody's. Yeah,
right.
There's exceptions to the rule.
It's a generality.
Yes,
yeah.
A generality.
Yeah. So that's what I told the kid. I'm like, I don't know if you're a responsible kid and you're on it. I don't know. What can I tell you?
Meeting your goals. I have nothing to say.
Yeah. So we'll leave you at that.
Another big issue in this country right now has to do with the legalization of marijuana. You gave an interview to the New Yorker's David Remnick, and you said that you thought smoking pot was a bad habit, but you didn't think it was any worse for a person than drinking. Now that contradicts the official Obama administration policy, both on the website of the Office of National Drug Control policy, and also the fact that marijuana is considered a Schedule I narcotic along with heroin and ecstasy. Now, do you think you were maybe talking just a little too casually about it with Remnick and the New Yorker, or are you considering not making marijuana a Schedule I narcotic?
Well, first of all, what is and isn't a Schedule I narcotic is a job for Congress. But the broader point, I stand by my belief, based I think on the scientific evidence, that marijuana for casual users, individual users, is subject to abuse just like alcohol is, and should be treated as a public health problem and challenge. But as I said in the interview, my concern is when you end up having very heavy criminal penalties for individual users that have been applied unevenly, and in some cases with a racial disparity. And I think that is a problem.
Got a little competition now. You're gonna find it hard to cope with living on your own. Oh, 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 oh. Let's make this happen, girl. We're gonna show the world that something good can work and it can work for you. than another. You know. It took a little time to make a little better. It's only going up, just one thing then another. You know. Let's make this happen. Go, we're gonna show the world it's make it work and it can work for you. And you know that it will. Let's get this started. Go, we're gonna remove it. It's been a lot to change you. Love what you want.
I feel like you work so much, it's amazing. Where do you get your energy from?
Well, I don't really work that much. It just seems that way because, you do a picture, sometimes you do a movie and it only takes you a week, right? Then they come out fairly close together and it seems like you're working back to back. Sometimes, yes, but most of the times, no. So it's appearances, really.
Yeah, but still you have a lot of energy to do these kind of things.
Well, I don't know, you smoke enough marijuana, you get it.
Okay.